Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So this morning I woke up and I was scrolling through the internet, which I usually do in the morning time, to see if there's any update in the immigration space or just to catch up with what's going on in the world. And I saw something trending on TikTok. And when I dig a little deeper and see exactly what it was a 7-minute video where the Prime Minister of Canada basically deep diving into immigration, what he believes was error that the federal government made in terms of making immigration very relaxed over the past couple of years, and some measures that they have been trying to do to pretty much get a grip back on immigration from what is considered to be a lost ship. Now, I've been speaking a lot about immigration in Canada from a temporary perspective, but I haven't been spoken a lot about immigration from a permanent perspective. Now, this is what this video really is speaking about, in the sense that Canada has drastically reduced the amount of permanent resident numbers for 2025 through to 2027, all but stalling population growth. And in this video that I'm gonna share at the end of this video as well, the Prime Minister spoke about the fact that not every temporary resident who are in Canada will get the opportunity to become a permanent resident, which is devastating news. And it's devastating news to the point that I believe that if you're in Canada right now as a temporary resident, your number one goal, your number one priority should be getting permanent residency as quickly as possible, regardless of your status, regardless of your situation, in terms of if you just landed or if you are in school or whatever the case may be. Your number one goal should try to see what avenues or ways you can try and get permanent residency as quickly as possible, because immigration right now has drastically changed. So Prime Minister Trudeau mentioned that Canada needed immigrants coming out of COVID because of the demand. Many sectors were shut down because of different reasons, and in order to fill the labor gap, immigrants were needed on a temporary basis. However, that's been abused, and we all know it's been abused drastically. Now, the fact that it's been abused means that the government had to hack. And I believe that these measures are measures that's been forced upon the government because of a lot of persons, both corporations, schools, businesses, and also immigrants who have been abusing the system for their own benefit. What was perceived to be a very lapsed, loose, easy immigration system is now quickly becoming one of the most difficult immigration processes for you to migrate to Canada, because of the unscrupulous or the unscrupulous acts of many dishonest people. And it's really unfortunate that a lot of good persons are gonna have to suffer for the bad. And we never want to see the good suffering for the bad at all. But that's just the truth, and that's what's gonna be happening right now. So, coming from a conversation that I've had with a few persons in the bigger cities who are hesitant of moving to the smaller cities, my advice would be get out as quickly as possible, because your PR opportunities or your PR options will become more difficult in the bigger cities, and the longer you take to make a decision is the harder it's going to be for you. So make a decision as quickly as possible and get on that early wave to make sure that you and your family can have the best chance of becoming a permanent resident in Canada, right? And he even mentioned about a lot of persons who have been seeking refugee claim as an option of getting permanent residency. That was also a lapsed loose system. And he spoke about that being a much tighter system. And then if you apply for refugee or asylum and you are not approved, you will be deported immediately. So these are some very strong measures, some fighting words coming out from Prime Minister Trudeau. Watch this video at the end of this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Let me know, of course, if you agree, disagree, what's your thoughts as usual. Subscribe to the Anderson's Family channel if you haven't subscribed already. Please take a second, it's totally free. Smash a like on this video and share it so that somebody else can see what's going on in Canadian immigration space, right? Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy this video.
I'm going to let you in on what happened, where we made some mistakes, and why we're taking this big turn. So this year, we did exactly that for the first time. We laid out a plan that sets targets for both permanent and temporary residents. In the last 2 years, our population's grown really fast, like baby boom fast. So we're doing something major. We're reducing the numbers of immigrants that will come to Canada for the next 3 years. Today, I'm going to let you in on what happened, where we made some mistakes, and why we're taking this big turn. Two kinds of immigration in Canada. The one you probably think of most is permanent immigration, like when families come to Canada to settle and call it home. This is the other pathway, temporary immigration. Temporary residents are people who come to Canada for a limited time, like international students, temporary workers, and so on. Historically, Canada's annual immigration plan just looked at permanent residents. The number of temporary students and workers that we admitted each year was left to the demands of the economy. It was usually a small proportion of our population, so it's never been a part of the long-term immigration plan. But after 2 years with closed borders, we need more people, more workers, fast. So we brought in more workers, and it was the right choice. It worked. Our economy grew. Restaurants and stores reopened, businesses kept running. But most importantly, in spite of lots of economists' predictions, we avoided the worst-case scenario, a recession. But some saw that as an opportunity to profit, to game the system. We've seen way too many large corporations doing this. Far too many colleges and universities used international students to raise their bottom line.
There are the diploma equivalent of puppy mills that are just churning out diplomas. There is fraud and abuse, and it needs to end.
Because they could charge these students tens of thousands of dollars more for the same degree. And then there are really bad actors who outright exploit people. Looking back, when the post-pandemic boom cooled and businesses no longer needed the additional labor help, as a federal team, we could have acted quicker and turned off the taps faster. Now, it is time to make the adjustments to stabilize the immigration system that we need and get it working right for Canadians for right now. Immigration is primarily a federal job. We have the levers to rein it in, so we are. Canada's new immigration plan is straightforward. Lower the number of new immigrants coming into Canada, both temporary and permanent. We're prioritizing permanent residents with the skills we need, like healthcare workers for our hospitals and construction workers who will build more homes. And those temporary residents who are already in Canada, some will apply to stay in Canada as permanent residents. Since they're already here, established and working, the added pressure put on communities is very low. Or they'll leave Canada when their temporary residency expires, reducing our population. Some temporary residents may turn to our asylum system when their visa expires as a shortcut to stay in Canada. Those claims will be analyzed and processed, and if their claim fails, they'll be sent home. Between the amount of people coming and going, we'll effectively pause population growth for the next 2 years. Then from 2027 onwards, it'll balance out and slowly start increasing again at a sustainable pace. In fact, that gets us back to the population growth path we were on before the pandemic. This pause is going to give our economy and our communities the chance to catch up with things like our plan to build millions more homes. That's not stopping, but now we'll have a little more breathing room as we build. We'll see more corporations investing in Canadian workers and youth rather than relying on cheap foreign labor. Our cap on international students is already bringing rental prices down in big cities, and as we keep that cap in place, rents will keep coming down. We're making the system work for Canadians and for newcomers, rather than for the big box stores, chain restaurants, immigration consultants, and sham colleges that exploit it.